Straight ahead on 12 News, a Plymouth woman fights a rare brain condition.
I get really bad migraines.
What it is and why the treatment will be costly. Then, an increasing number of people choosing to rent rather than buy a home. We'll look at the trend of lifestyle renters. But first, a permanent fix to plug a water problem.
We have to get this done. We cannot do without this line.
12 News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. Golden Valley, Crystal, and New Hope are working together to fix a water problem.
You may remember the big sinkholes that developed in Robbinsdale. As Delane Cleveland explains, Golden Valley, Crystal, and New Hope want to make sure it doesn't happen again.
The date was June 2013, and a massive sinkhole opened up right in the middle of 42nd Avenue in Robbinsdale. The culprit was a broken 36-inch water main.
So we're moving forward because we just can't risk any more sinkholes like that at $300,000 to $400,000 a hole.
Randy Klepper is Crystal's utility superintendent. He says that water main runs from Minneapolis through Robbinsdale and provides Crystal, New Hope, and Golden Valley with water. And if the 2013 sinkhole wasn't enough, the pipe broke again last year, opening yet another massive hole in Robbinsdale.
So we did some analysis, structural analysis of the pipe, and found out that basically 9% of it is compromised, and the cost to go in and try to make spot repairs would far exceed the cost of replacing the pipe.
As a result, the three cities have teamed up to replace the pipe at the cost of $5.7 million.
It's going to help us to make sure that we're able to safely get our water without all these breaks.
Tuesday night in Golden Valley,
Councilmember Clausen?
Yes.
The city council voted unanimously to pay for their share of the repair.
Because we have to get this done. We cannot do without this line. So we're hoping that the legislature does help us out. If not, it will impact ratepayers, but it's maintenance work that has to be done.
It's important work which will not only ensure that Golden Valley, Crystal, and New Hope have water, but it's work that city staff members hope will prevent any future sinkholes from disrupting Robbinsdale's way of life.
When that pipe broke, some of that water backed up into some of their residents' homes, and we just have to avoid this.
It's our neighbor, and as being good neighbors, we really can't be impacting their business and the traffic through their city.
Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
Work on the pipeline will begin in about 2 weeks. It'll continue throughout the summer with an expected completion date of August 15th.
Brooklyn Center Police hope a newly released photo will help them catch a man who robbed the Wal-Mart at Shingle Creek Crossing. The robber approached the Wal-Mart Money Center and implied he had a gun. He had on a green coat, tan pants, white shirt, and dark shoes, and is believed to be in his late 20s to early 30s. The man was seen leaving in a maroon pickup truck with an ATV in the back. Anyone with information is asked to call 952-258-5321.
A Brooklyn Center man is accused of trying to steal a car from a Spring Lake Park dealership. He wasn't hard to find. According to the criminal complaint, he fell asleep inside the car. Dean Berggren was arrested and charged with first-degree criminal damage to property. An employee at Car Motive found the man sleeping inside a red Subaru he was showing a customer. The criminal complaint says that Berggren had marijuana and prescription drugs on him. Berggren has a lengthy criminal record dating back 25 years with everything from domestic assault to a previous motor vehicle theft conviction.
Brooklyn Park Police are warning animal lovers about a pets for sale scam. It involves dogs or cats listed for sale on legitimate websites like oodle.com. Police say buyers are asked to pay using a money transfer business and are told their pet will arrive within several days. Sometimes the buyer is asked to make additional payments for things like airport fees, insurance, or vaccinations. Of course, the pet never arrives, and police say the scam appears to be run by individuals not located in the U.S.
A Plymouth woman is fighting a rare brain condition.
And doctors say the abnormal brain lesion is robbing April Steinberg of a quality of life. Reporter Sonia Goins has more.
I don't know what her name is.
Today is a good day for April Steinberg. April says she doesn't take quality time spent with her family for granted. Last year, she was diagnosed with a pineal cyst.
It's actually in the middle of your brain, like right in the middle.
Then doctors told her the cyst might actually be a benign penocytoma.
A rare type of brain tumor of the pineal region of the brain.
The condition causes very bad headaches and other problems.
Dizziness, vertigo, shaky eyes. It's like going over a bumpy road on rollerblades.
She's had a few tumbles. These are pictures from February when she fell in the bathroom.
And I'm always dizzy, so I can't really go outside and bring her outside to play if I'm dizzy because I could faint or fall down. So it gets hard.
April needs to have the lesion removed, but she'll have to go out of state to get it done.
My insurance won't pay due to it being out of state, and there is no other doctor in the area that can help me because this is a rare type of tumor.
She's going to the Skull Base Institute in California to get treatment.
This is a slow-growing lesion, and anything above 1 centimeter is considered surgical.
Doctors will use a special tool with a tiny camera attached to the end that will guide them to the lesion.
When he goes in and sees the lesion, he's going to take that out piece by piece.
The surgery isn't the only thing weighing heavy on April's mind. She now has to find a way to pay for it.
$167,000. Yeah. That's a lot.
Coming up with the cash is going to be hard. April's husband works 2 jobs, but that's not enough. So the family set up a GoFundMe page.
And I really would appreciate if they can donate, and if they can't, I totally understand because it is hard times for a lot of people. Is it Chippy?
Meanwhile, April is remaining optimistic about her circumstance.
Well, I just try to look on the bright side. I mean, you know, that's all you can do.
In Plymouth, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
April's surgery is set for June 2nd, and if you'd like to donate, we have information on how to do that on our website, 12.tv.
The Hennepin County Sheriff's Office has taken on a different role in protecting others, providing healthy food to those in need. The Sheriff's Office has partnered with St. Louis Park-based nonprofit Matter to distribute food kits. The kits include raisins, granola bars, instant oatmeal, and other nutritious food items. While the kits are intended to help fight hunger, they're also meant to help fight another problem.
Just a couple of years ago, it became known that obesity is now a bigger issue in our world than hunger. And so what that says to us is we still need to feed the hungry people, but we also need to be careful about what we're eating.
The partnership with the Sheriff's Office is also a way to reach people in need who don't seek help from traditional food shelves.
The city of Plymouth could be a good candidate for a bus rapid transit line along the Highway 55 corridor, and that's according to a study completed by the Metropolitan Council. One of the reasons the Highway 55 corridor could be a good spot for all-day frequent bus service is because Plymouth is a large employer during the day with an estimated 50,000 jobs in the city. Many workers do a reverse commute coming from Minneapolis to Plymouth, and they could be served by a rapid bus line that would work with the city's existing Plymouth Metrolink system. City officials would also want to work with Golden Valley and Minneapolis to see that the current light rail blue line extension planning takes into consideration bus rapid transit.
The question that we all have right now is if we're going to spend a lot of money developing LRT in Golden Valley to go north, how can we develop that station to accommodate buses at some point in the future?
No funding has been identified yet for a bus rapid transit line along Highway 55. Coming up, homes for changing lifestyle needs. We'll look at a kind of housing that's in high demand next.
And then a little bit later in sports, the Champlin Park softball team is set to get the season started. We'll have a preview.
But first, rain expected on Thursday. Sunshine will return Friday. Could free tuition at schools like Hennepin Technical College help address statewide worker shortages? Some members of the DFL-led Senate believe it would. A bill heard this week would help about 3,500 students who attend a 2-year school and enter into fields like manufacturing and agribusiness. To qualify, students must come from a family making less than $125,000 a year and maintain a 2.5 college GPA. The bill faces an uphill battle, though, and Governor Dayton did not include it in his budget, and there's no companion legislation in the Republican-led House. There's a growing number of people who are choosing to rent rather than own.
They are called lifestyle renters. Reporter Shannon Slatton shares how communities are responding and how you can make the most of the next property you rent.
High-end apartment complexes like this one in Golden Valley are hot properties. They offer hotel-like living for people who would rather rent than own, people also called lifestyle renters. It's a phrase that has also surfaced in Brooklyn Park.
We're hearing from the development community that we are underserved in the area of providing housing for lifestyle renters.
This summer, work could begin on the first apartment complex built in Brooklyn Park since the early 90s.
We do have a proposal coming forward called 610 West, and their market is to serve the lifestyle renter, the folks that are really looking for hotel-like living, high amenity packages, condo-like construction quality. Really choosing to rent instead of owning a home.
In Maple Grove, rental properties by way of single-family homes are also a hot commodity.
Maple Grove is a big area. We rent houses really fast in Maple Grove.
CEO of Renters Warehouse Kevin Ortner says people value mobility and not being tied to a mortgage.
I like to tell people we're now living in what I like to call the renter nation. There's just really been a mind shift on people from who used to want to buy a home to now they're looking at renting as an option.
Renters Warehouse acts like a professional landlord, managing homes and collecting rent. Ortner recommends 3 ways to make the most of your rent, starting with making sure you get in the rental property that is right for you.
As you're doing your homework and doing that research, find out what's important to you as a renter. What do you want in your home, and make sure that you're targeting something that has what you need, but maybe doesn't have more than what you want, and you're going to save a little bit of money.
Then know there's better deals if you rent in the dead of winter than if you rent right now, when a home moves off the rental market in about 10 days' time.
This is the competitive time of year. We're coming into spring.
And finally, negotiate to get the deal you want.
If you want to save $50 to $100 a month on the rent, offer to be in the property for longer term. Sign a 2 or 3 year lease versus just a 1-year lease. That has a lot of advantages to owners.
Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
Coming up, why the ride to work from Maple Grove may look a little different.
But first, top-ranked Wayzata takes on number 2 Mounds in a boys tennis showdown. John Jacobson is in next. Good start to the season for the Wayzata tennis team. Even though it was a little cold, a little windy, they overcame all of that.
Yeah, and they had a good challenge, a very good opponent in their first game, too. Wayzata's boys tennis team won the state Class AA title for a 2nd straight season last spring. The top-ranked Trojans opened their season Tuesday on the road against the preseason 2nd-ranked team in Class AA, Mounds. Highlights here from first doubles. Nick Hasner and Steele Kowalczyk in the near court for Wayzata. And they win a good point when the return is long. The Mustang duo would win the match. Second doubles, Dennis Kronberg serving the air for Wayzata. Andrew Tang with the return winner for Mounds. Same match. The Trojans pair now in the near court. Sam Schneider with a point at the net for the Trojans. Mounds takes that match as well, but Wayzata overall plays very well on the day. 3 singles. Karthik Papasati in the far court for Wayzata will get his opponent on the run. He gets the winner there. Abraham Cole comes back with a forehand winner. He takes the point, but Papasati wins the match in 3 sets, and Wayzata wins overall 5-2 over Mounds View. Blanket weather at Osseo as the Orioles hosted Northwest Suburban Conference Power Centennial. Number 3 singles, Osseo's Dennis Pham on the far court against the Cougars' Yi Sin. Pham will launch a nice lob shot for a point. Later in the match, Pham now in the near court. Sin will hit a forehand. That Pham cannot return, and Sin of Centennial goes on to win the match. Second singles play, Zach Knutson of Centennial serving. Osseo's James Krowitz, who takes something off his return. Knutson gets there, though, wins the point and the match. Number 1 singles, the Orioles' Peter Burns in the far court playing Nick Knutson, and it's Burns getting Knutson on the run and gets the overhand winner here. Knutson would rally and win the match. Number 1 doubles play, Mitch Brewer and Isaiah Stewart of Osseo in the near court facing the Cougars' Peter Kelly and Connor Lund, and it's Kelly and Lund winning the point. Centennial takes all the matches on the day, and they beat Osseo 7-0. It is time to play ball for local softball teams. Many teams have their openers this week, including the Champlin Park Rebels. Champlin Park won 7 games in the bad weather-plagued 2014 season. With a pretty young squad, the Rebels will have quite a few new faces in the lineup this season. The early returns have been good. The Rebels look good in preseason scrimmages.
We've stepped up more than I would have expected. You know, we have a lot of, like I said, not a lot of returners. So going in the beginning of the season might be a little rougher, but we have looked good for what our team is like.
We've put together some really good scrimmages and things like that to see what our young kids are going to be capable of, and I think we've done a good job of setting up, some tough competition for us early. We scrimmaged Roseville, we scrimmaged Lakeville South, and things of that nature, and so we're competitive.
The Rebels do have some strength up the middle with catcher Emma Lehman, one of the better players in the Northwest Suburban Conference, and center fielder Taylor Gukeen returning. There are some strong teams at the top of the conference, but the Rebels aren't going to back away from any challenges this spring.
We have tough competition. Maple Grove is always one of our biggest rivals, and I think we can compete with anyone this year.
When we've gone to some of these things and done some of these things, when the competition gets stiffer, our girls rise up to that competition level. They really do want to compete. They really do fight. They really do want to be competitive with the top teams in the state, and so we look to just fight and do our best, and I think our kids can get to that level.
Yeah, and Champlin Park gets a tough test in the season opener Wednesday as they take on an Elk River team that was third in the Northwest Suburban last season and won the state title in 2013. Watch the game live on the web at 12.tv Wednesday afternoon, or catch the replays on Channel 12 Thursday night at 7 or Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock. Games begin, although a little rainy start, or rainy day, looks like on Thursday, so we'll see how many games get in.
All right, thanks, John. Still ahead, bus riders in Maple Grove may have done a double take today.
What's different about Maple Grove Transit buses when we come back?
And finally, your ride to work could look a whole lot different.
If you ride Maple Grove Transit, you may notice something a little different about the look of your bus. Beginning today, Maple Grove is making its first venture into bus wrap advertising, covering the whole vehicle. The first ad was sold to Twin Cities Orthopedics, which is introducing a new Maple Grove facility.
The biggest motivation is try to offset some of our expenses with additional revenue. Our only source of revenue really is the fare box revenue from our riders. So if we can create a little bit more by some advertising, we think it's an idea that we should at least explore.
Most Maple Grove buses are still sporting the old design. Transit officials are hoping to hear how riders like the advertising before expanding it. And one thing that they want to hear back about is if they can find the right bus downtown when there's a lot of buses down there. And, the Maple Grove name is a little smaller.
Right,
yeah.
And the original's so clear.
Right.
Yes.
That's it for now. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone.
We'll see you back here tomorrow. Community Corner is coming up next.